On this feast of the chair of St. Peter, just a short reflection on what your take is on this very feast, and especially regarding to the gospel that we are sharing today. Matthew 16, verse 13 to 19, Jesus talked about when he was doing um, self-examination, and then he wanted to know what his disciples thinks about him, which is part of the things that Socrates mentioned. He said unexamined life is not worth living, but Jesus, being who he is, knows the beginning to the end, but he wants to get that feedback from his disciples. And then he put a question out: who do people say I am? Who do people say that the Son of Man is? And that was like a quiz, and everybody was just answering, you are this, you are that, you are that, you are that. And Simon Peter said in his own reply, you are, he said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Simon Peter was not the first person who has said this. If you check the Bible, the scriptures, you hear even the demoniacs were confessing about Jesus. But that was without Jesus asking. So, and you notice that Jesus was always shutting them down, trying to make sure that they don't say it. But when Jesus, having seen all these incidents and pockets of experiences, he threw this question directly: what do you guys really think about me? Who do you think I am? And even at that, with all those clues, they were not able to answer that, because no one comes to the Son except if the Father sent him. So these demoniacs, they knew the Father from the time immemorial. They know God very well. But now, in terms of face to face with the humanity that Jesus, the disciples, Jesus wanted that feedback from them. And they failed, except Peter. But even at that, Jesus knew that it was the Father who whispered. You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus said to him, Ah, Peter, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah. Jesus knew that the Father has whispered that. He said, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you. I know very well. I know what my Father is capable of doing. I know what he can do. But my Heavenly Father, oh, Heavenly Father, you are the one doing this. You revealed this. The Heavenly Father knows Peter. The same way those demoniacs were leaking this information, because they knew, these demoniacs knew that they existed from the time they were kicked out from heaven. So they knew Jesus, even humanity. That's why Satan knows Jesus well than you do. They knew Jesus more than we know him. But now, with this revelation, Peter was able to make this testimony. And Jesus said, flesh and blood did not give you this. My Father, the sender, the Abba, the one who cries out from our heart, revealed this to you. But my Heavenly Father. And so I say, for the fact that the Father has picked you, for the fact that the Father has decided to descend on you with this information, it is not an accident. The Father made a decision. So the Father is always speaking. The Father is always making a decision here. The Father has a need for your life. He knows why he created you. He knows why he mentioned your name in Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Before you were formed in the womb, I know you. So because the Father has called Peter, Jesus had to validate right away. And so I say to you, you are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. Jesus mentioned 5 things. 5 things. 5 promises like clear. Peter struck the point right away. He said, "You are Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church." 1. And the gates of the netherworld shall not prevail against it. 2. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. 3. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. 4. And whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. 5. Peter, like Jesus gave Peter that backbone, as a citizen of heaven. Jesus started with the gates of the netherworld first. And then he gave the keys to the kingdom. So the netherworld, the principalities and powers cannot do anything with that. And then he gave this key. He gave this authority. And the authority mentioned here works in line with the authority that he also mentioned in Luke 10:19. I have given you power and authority to trample upon snakes and scorpions and to overcome every power of the enemy. He works in pari passu. But the authority that Jesus was referring to in this case talks about the position of Peter as the head, the bishop of Rome, the one whose priesthood as the vicar of Christ that every priest celebrates. And in line also, every one of us celebrate also through baptism as in the common priesthood of Christ. So while Peter has this authority as the leader, as the one, the vicar of Christ, he dispenses those authority. So if you pick out the point that were mentioned, Jesus said, "Upon this rock I will build my church." You know very well, Christ is the head of the body. We are the body, the church. So the head and the body, and our bodies are his temple. So Christ will build his body, his church, on us, the temples. But the physical church, which is ecclesia, and also our bodies, the temple. And the gates of the netherworld shall not prevail against it. And I will give you the keys to the kingdom. What are those keys? The sacraments. The sacraments of the church. The 7 sacraments. Whatever you bind with these sacraments shall be bound. So these authorities flowing from Jesus through St. Peter to the disciples, to every one of us who are beneficiaries of these 7 sacraments. And whatever you lose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Oftentimes people wonder, what is most important about the chair, about the authority of St. Peter? Is it the key or the chair? Is it the key or the chair? Well, the answer is as open as every air that we breathe. Keys. The chair can rust, keys don't rust. But the authority makes you who you are. The power flows from the nature of Christ, from who Christ is, from the authority that he has given to Peter. So this is an open question. Is it flowing from the which one is more important, the chair or the key? Without the key, you can't have access to the chair, and without the chair, you won't have a position to lead and guide. So both of them are important from my perspective. Both of them are important. The chair is as good as important as the key. So Jesus gave the key, and the church is where the chair is. So you can let me know what you make out of that. I want to know from your answers which one is most important, and how does this key and the chair work? Because you heard about the key. So the chair of St. Peter and the key of St. Peter, which one do you think is most important? And if both of them work hand in hand, um, what is the symbiotic uh, relationship in that relationship? I know the answers in my own understanding of what uh, our Holy Father stands and what St. Peter stood for us. But I want to know what you think about this, because it's very important to know what we reflect, how this relationship, symbiotic relationship, both of them are all important. But let me know what you think about it, maybe your views. Don't read anywhere. Don't read anything about it. Just say from your heart what you think. Thank you.